there we go. Cool. Hey everybody, Chris the Cop here. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on our next episode of Coffee with the Cop. Every other week it is Coffee with Cops, so our little border thing is a little off, but it's still a nice little border thing that Fox Commander had developed for this. So it's kind of cool, but I want to say thank you again for everybody joining and supporting this channel, being there through the good times, the bad times, and hanging in there when I went offline for a couple of months. But it's been pretty awesome. We got a lot of cool things coming up. New things are always happening. That's the cool part. We have teamed up with a lot of great people this year. That's all in part of Fox Commander meeting some other Leos through Discord and inviting them on over to the channel to participate. Prime example is we have Night Cop 35. We have Only Cops, Josh, Bill, and producer Juan. Sternal Jet, which unfortunately I have not seen Sternal in a while. I really like Sternal Jet. I think he's a really good guy serving his country both in law enforcement as well as the military. We also have SWAT Theory, and then we have 68, Whiskey 68. Really good fun, and I'm going to call him a kid because compared to me, he is definitely a kid, but he's really a good guy. So before we go on any further, as usual, I want to thank people that are in here, and I want to ask all of you that are watching if you could throw us a like. We would love to get Matt's likes right now. And that would be cool. So I'm going to say hi to a couple of people right now that are in this. First of all, it is my trusty number one, Fox Commander, followed by moderator Saber Game Guides. Our one of our truest, coolest supporters of this channel is Poofy Pigeon, otherwise known as Puffy Pigeon, but we call him Poofy. We have named him. Commander Sweeper, who's been with us for a long time on this channel. Sergeant George Ishak, who's also been with us. Jinja Ninja, my brother from another mother across the pond. So thank you, Jinja, for joining us. Grimmy is here. Then we have U3. I'm sure that all means something, so I'm going to have to figure that one out later. We got Fox FO. Jency. Jency's been with us for quite a while. Let's see here. Space has been here for almost since the beginning as well. Gut Shooter, hey, how you doing? We got Noah Tholen is here. Poofy, thanks Poofy back there then. Shadow Wolf, TB Nova, thank you. Let's see here. I know, right? Could you imagine? Hey, I know it's Chris the Cop pulling me over. That would be kind of funny, right? Alfredo, my other trusting moderator, is here as well. That's all right, Alfredo. Don't worry about it. And I think we're good right now for all the people that are here. If I missed you, I do seriously apologize. Throw it in there that I missed you, and I will get back to you. Commander Sweeper. Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I would love for this channel to just get bigger and bigger. The benefit of it being the size that it is that we get to know our viewers. Viewers are not just people watching the videos and the occasional shout out. Viewers that are here all the time definitely get recognized because we see them. We know who they are. Pardon me. So there's been a lot of people that have been with me since the very beginning. And people have come and gone, but it's been kind of neat because, you know, like I said, there are names that we don't see sometimes, and we're like, hey, where have you been? I do recognize that. There are times that I actually even use Discord to reach out to people saying, hey, where have you been? Are you okay? That type of stuff. So that definitely does happen. Fox has actually done a really great job on putting a spin onto Coffee with Cops, as some of you are in the waiting room ready to ask some live questions. But I'm going to first start off with some written questions that Fox has sent me, and I think I got to go back to that to bring it up. And there it is. So, for me, there it is. All right. So here's the first question of the day, and I do apologize, it's off to the side. Let me actually move this a little bit so I can kind of like look at least. All right, here we go. Sandu, how you doing? see. Okay, so we got everyone now. Okay, Poofy asks, "Hey Chris, I recall on a Tactical Tuesday stream how you said the original vests you had were rough. I was wondering what the original vests that were used during your prime time were. What were their NIG rating? Was there a reason why SWAT used to wear what was basically glorified patrol vests with attachment buttons? And what caused the switch to heavier ceramic armor and modern plate carriers?" All right, cool question, Trevor. Thank you for joining our thank you for actually becoming a member of this channel. That is Trevor Jansen, who is now a member, who is financially supporting this channel. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would love to donate a few ducats, you can definitely hit that join button. There's various different tiers that allow you to do so, and we reinvest that money back into the channel. So Trevor, thank you very much for that. All right, let's get on with this question. So if we look at the history of SWAT, there were a few events that changed what was happening in the United States. There was the Texas A&M school shooting, where I know they don't like to be called X, but a retired Marine, we'll throw it out there, went to the top of the clock tower utilizing a rifle and started to kill people. It wasn't until two patrol officers worked their way up and were able to take him out. There was the Munich Games, where terrorists had taken over the Jewish athletes, and there was a terrorist hostage situation. I can't remember exactly what came out of that, as far as how that was resolved. And then there was significant events going on here in the United States where there will be arguments about this, but Chief Darrell Gates of the Los Angeles Police Department realized that patrol was not capable of handling situations like this, and he started to develop a tactical team, or had his department develop a tactical team, which evolved in what is today's SWAT. We did not have the equipment that we have today because this was all new. In fact, during that era, police department or police officers did not wear a bulletproof vest. It was a luxury at that time. It wasn't even mandated. So they had to put together all of this equipment, just last minute, add stuff to it, do weird things to it, and slowly manufacturers of tactical companies, well, they weren't even tactical companies. These companies that provided police gear started to make things for us, and it was based upon our feedback. And initially, the first vests were just Kevlar vests, if even that the military was using. And then they evolved into later on where we had these vests with Velcro on there and snaps, and we thought this was that was one of the ones I originally wore, and then we thought this was like the creme de la creme. And then eventually came to the Molly rigging, and then we just had rifle, plate carriers and all these various different things. So it just really, really evolved. The original vests, I don't even know if they would be rifle rated. I'd have to really go back and do some research to even find out if they were rifle rated. At a very minimum, they were probably rated to a 45 caliber. Eventually, our first vests were rifle rated, and then everything became a luxury, I shouldn't say a luxury, but it became, we needed to be lighter. So these manufacturers, as they got bigger, started to say, okay, we got to make things lighter. And then that's when we started to come out with the different types of plates, thinner plates, ceramic plates. So this is how it evolved. I don't think anyone's ever really done any type of, this is the beginning and this is where we're at today. Something just happened. I just want to make sure we're still on, because it looks like, okay, there it is. The chat disappeared off my end real quick. But all right, we do have a super chat, and super chat is not a banned account with Oh, I'm sorry, we have two super chats from not a banned account. So let's get to the first one. Super chats will trump everything else, as you will get to the front of the line on question asking. So, should SWAT deploy against political extremists too? Well, if they're doing something that requires SWAT to be deployed, absolutely. I mean, if they're doing some type of terrorist attack, hostage takeover, illegal protesting, absolutely, you definitely want them to be deployed. So it just all depends on. But we just randomly deploy SWAT if it was just a regular protest. You know, I mean, a friendly protest is a friendly protest, so we don't need SWAT there. So there goes to that. Not a ban through is another super chat, and it says, "Will tax evasion on the rise? Should SWAT help IRS?" We will not help the IRS. The IRS is a federal component of the government, and we do not enforce federal law. We call the feds in, but we will not be helping to enforce. They'll have to have their own tactical groups of whatever tactical situation they possibly may have, but we are not going to assist them. We just don't want to do that. Remember, law enforcement is only as strong as the communities that allow them to police. That's really what it is. Our communities allow us to police. And we have to have their support. That's it. All right, let's get to another question, and then we'll get to some online questions. Actually, Fox, you want to do an online question, and then we'll switch back and forth? That yes? No.
Hello.
Hey.
Am I here?
You are here. You are live with Chris the Cop. I've always wanted to do that.
Okay.
How's it going?
So I have one question.
Yeah. What's it? Send it. What is it?
So have you ever ridden in a helicopter?
Oh my gosh. Lots of times. Lots of times. I can't even begin to count how many times I've been in a helicopter. I'm actually currently the Aero Bureau commander for my police department, so I get to ride in the helicopter quite a bit.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. I love it.
Alright, so this question was from my friend though, but has there ever been a time where you accidentally killed someone you were not supposed to?
No, never. There is no accidentally killing anybody. That would be if someone accidentally killed someone, there would be a host of things that would happen. You can actually, I don't know too many people that would stay as police officer, and I mean that from a personal point of view. As far as I truly believe that they probably would end up retiring just because they would not be able to deal with what possibly happened. It's a lot to take someone's life, even when they are doing something such as, you know, pointing a gun at a police officer. To kill someone really goes against us as human beings, because we have to remember that your entire life we have been told to cherish life. Everyone has. There's unless you're a psychotic sociopath, there's no taking someone's life. So when you do take someone's life, it does put a certain amount of stress on you. There's a certain amount of PSD, there's a certain amount of depression that comes with it. So I don't know if anyone would ever survive that, but no, there's never been a time like that. It's been good. So no, never.
All my questions, I'll be leaving.
Okay. All right, Fox, I'll do the next written question. Jake Hob asked, "My local department does ride-alongs, but I haven't contacted them about getting on one yet. Which shift do you recommend for a ride-along if I'm able to choose, day or night?" Well, first of all, night. Pros and cons of both. Pros of days are it's days and it's early, and I'm not a day shift type of person. And cons of night are if you're not a night person, it could be a long night. But generally speaking, nights are generally busier. So, but don't get me wrong, because I know day shifts. There are day shifts that just are rocking and rolling all day long. So it could be a hit or miss. So there is no rhyme or reason to when people decide to do crime. But inherently, the zombies come out at night. All right. Also, does your department do them as well? We do ride-alongs. Yes, we do ride-alongs. And do you have any stories involving ride-alongs? Yeah, our ride-alongs see the weirdest things. I mean, they're out there and they see firsthand what law enforcement officers are up against. They see law enforcement get jumped. They see law enforcement get into fights. They see all sorts of things. So yeah, you don't know what's possibly going to happen when you're on a ride along. All right, let's get our next audio, Fox.
Got Poofy.
Oh my gosh, no, Poofy's banned.
Too late. He's talking. Okay.
Poofy.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, Poofy. What do you got?
Sorry, I can barely hear you. Just give me a second. There we go.
All right.
How are things?
I'm doing well, Poofy. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Not bad. Just bear with me here. I can barely hear on one ear, so yeah. Just one question, really. So I know back in I'll say the 90s and early 2000s, most SWAT teams were using the MP5, and you yourself probably used
I did.
or handled.
No, I did. I was assigned an MP5 for 10 plus years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know, for example, LAPD, they switched to, I guess, heavier, rifle rounds because of the North Hollywood situation. So I was wondering, what made your department really switch from moving on from the 9mm round to 5.56 and rifle rounds generally?
It was actually kind of a very similar incident. We were doing a hostage rescue. I was actually part of the hostage rescue, and our team leader tried to take out the suspect from point. We were actually at a point blank range when the hostage rescue. When we finally realized that the suspect was going to kill the hostage, we realized. Well, obviously, we had to move. There was we had a split-second opportunity to neutralize the suspect. It was taken. The suspect was shot 3 times in his head at a distance of 1 meter, and 3 9mm rounds went into his head. And when we breached the door to get the hostage, the suspect was still alive in a corner, shooting at my partner and I. And I still remember seeing that he had 3 holes in his head, and I'm like, this guy is still alive. And it resulted in a gun battle, because we had to retreat, and gun battle continued for 48 seconds until the suspect was finally neutralized. And then as a team, we said, we're done with this round. We're like, why are we carrying a handgun round into a fight? We already have a handgun, so why do we have 2 handguns? And that's really where the motivation came. So we decided to go to the M4 platform immediately. We went to the Colt. We went to the Colt 9, the 10-inch barrel. That was our first try at it.
Right.
And with that time, we were carrying the Springfield XD as a sidearm, which we utterly hated. That was probably one of the worst guns we've ever gone to. Eventually switched to the 6-hour Legion, but we at that particular time were carrying the 45 and the Springfield. Our department said that we could carry any of the 3 rounds in regards to the Legion. I don't know. I don't know if it's 2 rounds, but we could carry the 9 or the 45. A lot of officers opted for the 9, me being as well. Our Colt eventually evolved into us going to the 6-hour MCX, which was just a better platform for us. Due to all of the modifications and all that type of stuff. But it really was that event that said, we got to move forward. And then most large, like LAPD, LA County Sheriffs, San Bernardino, all of these big agencies were already doing this. So we just mimicked them, and here we are today. So that's actually, it was a situation just like their situation that said, nope, enough is enough.
Yeah. I guess last question before I get going as well. So I actually wanted to say congrats on your Gameology video. That was awesome.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
And congrats, Fox, for 2 years as well. So congrats to you.
He'll be lucky if he makes it to 3 years, though.
Oh, yeah. So, second question. So, recently, a really scandalous video that was released by Fox Commander showed you in SWAT for beating a hostage. Would you like to comment?
That was actually pretty funny. Here's the funny part about that video. That video put me behind on the SWAT 4 gameplay, because I was like, I got 25-point deduction for excessive use of force. That was actually kind of neat. And here's the funny part. I really wish. I know SWAT 4 is an old game, but I really wish that they could do there was an action that we can actually just grab the non-complying, whatever you want to call them, civilians, and throw them down to the ground and handcuff them. I think Ready or Not should have it. I think 0 Hour should have it. I don't think 0 Hour has non-complying civilians, but Ready or Not does. Obviously, we know that, and SWAT 4 does. So I would love to see, because realistically, that's all we would do. We would never hit someone. We would never pepper spray them unless they were attacking us. But we wouldn't do that to neutralize them because we're trying to move the stick forward. So, but yeah, that was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks.
I actually wanted to update you because you mentioned it. That is a feature that is planned for Ready or Not. So you should see it coming up someday.
And you know what? I sometimes wonder this. I wonder if us, like my channel, Only Cops, because I know we are the channels that are really playing that game. And the devs know about us. I mean, I've spoken to the devs via email several times for Ready or Not. And I was actually supposed to go down to San Diego before the one dev left back to Australia, because the main dev is in Australia. And they do have a guy that says he's former SWAT. I don't know. Him and I kind of chatted offline a little bit, so I'm going to say he was. But I just wonder how much of our gameplay are they watching and they're hearing our commentary saying, man, we got to add that. We got to add that. And if it is, I would love for them just to say, hey, you know what? We're really enjoying the gameplay from Only Cops and, Chris the Cop. And we got to acknowledge that some of the, the tweaks that we're doing are because of them. That would actually be kind of cool because, even door kickers, when I talked to him and he saw my gameplay, even he said, you know what, I'm going to change some stuff just because based upon the gameplay of how you're playing it. He said, you've given me some ideas. And he even sent me door kickers too, just because of, and so that's cool when they do that, because in reality, it's us, not Only Cops and me, but it's the community. And the community is really, the Ready or Not community is really relying on real cops to give their input about what's realistic and not realistic. And like I mentioned in the Gameology video, all that extra stuff will never be, a SWAT team would never use. But that's okay though, because that's for the gamer. But for those people that are really, and I've seen some fantastic gamers that really subscribe to real law enforcement ROEs, it gives them the opportunity to try to play the game as a real police officer. And I definitely appreciate gamers that do that. So I would love to be able to provide that input to, I think it's M7 Productions, or whoever it is. I can't remember. I'm mixing up all my publishers right now. But I really would love to see them really just put a lot of effort into making it as real as possible. Then, of course, we, as the gamer, can make it unreal.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that here, but yeah, definitely, I'll talk to you afterwards.
All right.
Sure.
All right, we'll do that.
Right. Thanks, Poofy. Or thanks, Chris, sorry.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Have a good one.
Okay, you too. All right, we're going to... go ahead.
I do want to say that in our SWAT 4 servers, you can forcefully cuff a civilian without force.
Oh, cool. All right, there we go.
So look forward to co-op.
All right, we'll do that. All right, we are going to read another comment before we go to a live one. Don't forget to like this, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here. I think right now, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, I think we have the most concurrent viewers we have ever had in a stream, which is freaking blowing me away right now. So this is cool. This is so cool. All right, a person asks, when police and prosecutors work together, what are the limits what the police can do to obtain evidence? And do some work at night, guard security for events, and just average businesses? Okay, good question. So let's answer the first one. All right, in a criminal investigation, now this is not absolute, but it's generally probably about the way everyone does it. A crime will occur. The patrol officers will respond to the crime, and they will do a preliminary investigation and evidence collection. If it's a significant crime that requires more evidence collection, say a stabbing, say an assault with a deadly weapon, and there's a lot of evidence, we have the ability to call in CSIs. Okay, now we don't have a CSI group. We depend on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to come in and do our evidence collection at that point. But generally, law enforcement patrol officers have been trained to collect evidence. Now, that initially happens. The patrol officer does the report, they book their evidence, and they're done. That case will be forwarded to a detective. A detective now, based upon what they see or don't see, there may be additional evidence collection, and the detective will take it at that point in time. Even after that stage, district attorneys, there's a position within the DA's office called DA investigators. And if they have to go out and get further evidence, they'll be sent out. So there's 3 different times that evidence can be collected regarding a criminal case. In regard to the security guard thing, yes, there are police officers who moonlight as security guards, but that is dependent on the agency that they work for. A police agency does not have to allow their police officers to work as security guards. There's been a lot of controversy about that. There's a lot of stories of these situations that have gone wrong, but it's really all dependent on the actual police agency. All right, Fox, another live. Actually, hold on, Fox. Let's get to a couple of people. Let's get to a couple of questions here in the live stream. I know Fred was talking to someone, and let me see here. Most of the time, military weapons and aware to so there. I'm seeing there's a game where you were. Okay, see, you'll ask U3W asks, when you were a younger cop, did you ever have a foot chase that you caught the suspect? I've had many foot chases as a young officer, as a medium officer, and as an old officer, where yes, I have caught the suspect. So yes, lots of foot chases. So good question though. Let's see here. Hey, someone's asking if they can listen to Discord. I think everyone can listen to Discord. Let's see here. Okay, here I'm going through all these things people are talking back and forth. Mancraft asks, what's the difference between a patrol and a detective? A patrol officer is an officer who wears a uniform and is assigned to patrol services where they drive a black and white and they respond to calls for service, such as 911 calls. A detective is someone who works in the detective bureau, generally wears soft clothes. A lot of detectives wear suits. Today, most of them wear slacks or polo shirts. Females wear business attire. They don't have to wear all the gear of a patrol officer, and they investigate the crimes that the officers complete reports for. So there is a difference. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Brady? No, I've never been shot. Do I prefer SWAT 4 or Ready or Not? Both are 2 different games, and I like both games. But I prefer the realism right now of SWAT 4 with the first responder mod. So the person who put that first responder mod, kudos to them for making SWAT 4 more realistic. Let's see. What was your dream unmarked police car in the United States? I don't think I have one. Let's see here. Okay, Danger. Danger gets to get bumped up to the question list. Did you confirm whether or not LAPD SWAT uses the HK416? No, but I'm going to see if I can do that right now for you, and I'm going to text my buddy. Let's see here.
Likes.
Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. All right, we're asking right now there, Danger, so we'll see if we get a reply back. All right, let's go to a live question, Fox.
Fractured RNA.
Hey, how's it going, Fractured?
Wait, there you go.
Hey, how's it going, Fracture?
Oh, really good, really good. Thank you. I hope it's not too loud.
No, you're good. You're good.
Perfect. Thank you. Honestly, I'm just glad it's well. I mean, it's my first time speaking. It's an honor to meet and speak with you.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Hey, it's honor's all mine.
So I do have some questions. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just actually curious. Have you ever had like a joint operation, for example, in your, for example, like where you would involve different departments, for example, like FBI, HRT, Homeland Security, like in an instance, or it was just like mostly involved around your department?
So, we have, okay, so joint operations. Yes, actually, we do a lot of joint operations with the FBI and Marshal Service. And generally, that revolves around our, what's the best way I could describe it? It's, believe it or not, a lot of local gangs have risen to the level of the FBI conducting RICO investigations on these gangs because the amount of narcotics and the amount of narcotics and money that is being gone back and forth. Oh shoot, sorry. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Oh my gosh. I swallowed wrong, guys. Sorry about that. So anyways, I'll try to get through this cough. So yes, so we definitely do operations with them. Now, multi-jurisdictional, we have done several multi-jurisdictional operations with other SWAT teams from other cities when we're literally taking down 10 places at one time. I'm talking about a simultaneous 6 a.m. breaching doors all at one time, so they cannot coordinate with one another and warn each other. So those happen all the time. I should say all the time, but they do happen. So yes, we have assisted the feds, and we've assisted our local brothers in law enforcement and other agencies as well.
Well, that's well. Then now that you said it, it's like a lot of communication, a lot of. It's a vast operation that you mentioned, like that. A lot of teamwork, which reminds me. Now that you mentioned it, since you did have these operations like that, did you all have to like train together, kind of like share? Were you allowed to like share certain tactics, like for example, what they use like that on the playing field, like that? For example, like kind of like FBI or SWAT exchange of tactics, or was it more like restraint on like sharing the tactics?
Tactically wise, we don't intermingle our teams because we all train differently. Even though we all go to the same schools and so forth, we all train differently. So what the sheriff's department does is going to be different from what LAPD does. It's going to be different from what we do. So everybody does something differently. The feds, they do their own thing as well. So we don't intermingle our teams. Generally, when we do a multi-jurisdictional search warrant, one team will handle one address while the other team handles another address. So we don't do that. Now, there is current training going on between the two largest agencies here in Southern California, which is the Sheriff's Department and LAPD. They're doing some intermingled training, but generally we try not to do that because even at the patrol level, having different tactics does not play well. So, but we do train together to see who's doing what and how they're doing it, because that's how we definitely get better.
Interesting. And also, this is more for the Ready or Not like that, because it's actually becoming one of my favorite games to play with like that. I think I did put a question on one of your videos. I'm not sure. It's been a long time, but it's the use of the safety. I was wondering because as far as the devs. They do a really good job with it, but I'm just wondering, do you think they should implement enough time window for us to, for example, to switch between safety, semi, or auto like that? Because, I mean, when I do the gameplay, obviously, like that, I would keep it on semi because for any sort of surprise, but do you think that we should be given the ability to, for example, when we're not engaged in combat, to switch to the safety like that, so in case if there's, for example, a lot of non-compliant civilians like come around the door like that because they do surprise a lot of people in games.
Right.
And it was pretty funny looking at it. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I definitely think the safety should be added, and I'll give you my reason why. There was an incident locally in San Bernardino where their guns were on ready to fire. And an incident happened where, and unfortunately, an accident happened which resulted in the death of an operator. Many teams at that point in time decided that they were going to keep their weapons on safe, and when they got into a shoot situation, we would switch to semi-auto. Now, there are people who can switch to full auto quickly, but generally, you can get to semi. I mean, obviously, we can get to semi-auto pretty quick. I think that would be a great function because, like I said, a lot of teams today are keeping their guns on safe, and then even during the entry part, and then if they come into a situation, we're switching to semi-auto. It's all about training, and that's why you train. So I think it would be a great added feature to do that because it makes that game much more realistic to what's currently going on.
That's amazing. I'm glad that you about the fact that you agree with the safety. And also, sorry, just trying to think of the question that I was about to ask. Oh, yes, sorry. I think this will be my last question because I'm pretty sure there are people that are dying to speak with you. For the when you do your operations, for example, in real life, like that, the post-operation, for example, do you guys have to like fill up like a lot of paperwork? I'm just curious, like that. Is it like any other like patrol officer, for example? Albeit, for example, a traffic stop, any sort of thing that happens like that. Do you also do like a huge amount of paperwork writing down like every post stop that you do?
There is so much paperwork that we do today. I always tell people, if you're getting in law enforcement for an exciting job, that's cool. But 80% of what we do is paperwork. 20% is, is fun. So you got to remember, especially here in the United States right now with everything that's going on, if we don't document things the way they exactly happen, right away we're accused of, fabricating evidence, lying, all that type of stuff. So we got to dot our I's and cross our T's. And luckily now with body cameras, we're able to do that because, we have a recorded record of that. Yeah, but 80% of what we do is definitely paperwork.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Chris, really, for answering my questions. I'll leave it to the rest of us to ask. Thank you so much again. Really, it's an honor to meet you.
Oh yeah, no worries. Thank you very much for joining, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go through a little bit of our chat. Let's see here. Danger. So my buddy just got back to me. And yes, they're using the HK416, so you were right. So LAPD is currently using the HK416. That is freaking awesome. So there you go. We have it right from the horse's mouth. So an LAPD SWAT operator. So let's see here. Shadow Wolf asks, have you ever accidentally shot a fellow officer? No, never. Hey Chris, what was the largest male you've ever physically fought with? Just curious. The guy was about 320 pounds, 6 something, and he gave me a run for my money. So, but he went to jail. Let's see. I'm trying to. I don't want to skip this far ahead because I know what's exactly going to happen. Okay, did you ever do a plainclothes unit patrol with the vest on? I say it's like that because I don't know what you call. Yes, I have. I've been in. I was a detective, and when we would go to things, we'd put our vests on. So we'd be have our vests over our suits. So yes. Let's see. Trying to think here. Looking at going through all the stuff. I am doing good, Fox. You good, Chris? Go. Yeah, I'm okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Guys, I guess that was my coughing attack. What is your opinion of the DEA? They're great. They have their mission, and they're good. So they, Let me see. Remember when CRT meant critical response and tactics? Yes, but actually, some people still call their team CRT. Others call it SRT. Some call it SWAT. So it all just depends on where you work. Chris, do you call them the FBI or the feds? I think we just say feds. The feds. Let's see, Chris, have you ever had to arrest a Karen? Yes, I think every officer has had to arrest a Karen. Let's see, Chris, I was in a mall and someone truck was going off. I don't know what they said. Did the alarm scared us? Look, I never seen that to tell now. Okay, that sucks. Hey Chris, can we get a doggo reveal? I don't think my dog's chilling right now in here. I can't remember if she is or not. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna stop there, and we're gonna go to our next written question that was submitted. Flory asks, when will we finally have some SWAT 4 co-op with Chris and Only Cops involving Discord users on this server? We need to show Only Cops this gem of a game if they don't know yet. Flory, I agree. Every week I bring it up to Only Cops that we got to do this. They have no idea how much fun they're going to have, especially if we utilize our private server and we do a lot of the maps that people have made. That's the gem of SWAT 4. Is that we get to you know, have all of those random maps. So yes, we got to definitely do that. So go to their channel and comment on their videos saying SWAT 4, SWAT 4, SWAT 4. So let's definitely do that. We got Jinja Ninja, my man. Jinja, you are just, man. It's all nothing but love with Jinja, man. Hey, Jinja, I'm gonna say this. I want to definitely give you my condolences. That was just such sad news to hear about the Queen. That's just like, wow. I can't even imagine what your country is going through right now. You know, it may be the same as, you know, well, actually, it wouldn't be the same as us losing a president, to be honest with you. The Queen has been the Queen for 70 plus years. She's you know, was a rock, you know, during the World War, you know, and everything else that has happened. So yeah, it's you know, I know you guys are doing your 12 days of mourning, so you know, condolences to you and the you know, the UK. So all right, let's go with live question, Fox.
Trevor.
Trevor.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going, Trevor?
Man?
How's it
Hey,
going?
I've got a question for you. I'm actually in the telecom industry,
Oh, okay.
and I've actually seen, not really in the field, but I've seen in NetCool fiber cuts that happen. Sometimes they are actually relating to a fire that happened or something like that. Do you guys ever catch the suspect to maybe lit a fire in the manhole or no?
If there's evidence around and so forth, yes. A lot of our fires that we have, unfortunately, unless there's really evidence or video evidence, it's really, really tough to get some of those people.
Oh, damn.
I
And
know.
all that really happens is AT&T or whoever the carrier is has to shell out money to repair.
Yeah, no, I know, man. Sometimes those vaults, you know, I've seen those vaults go up, and they say it's millions of dollars when those vaults get when they catch fire.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Especially if, say, for example, what's riding those fibers inside the vault could be 911 services.
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing that people don't realize how fragile the 911 system is. I think a lot of people have really come to think that 911 will always be there for them, but they don't realize that one simple event could knock out 911. I mean, it has not actually knocked out 911. I can't even begin to tell you how many times 911 has gone down, and we have to send our officers into the field just driving around because we don't know if people need help. And we're just kind of hoping that someone would run out and see an officer if they need help. So yeah, 911 goes down quite a bit for various different cities, and it's a scary time because you know.
And hell, even one thing that can also take down 911.
Yeah.
The configuration of the telephone switch that serves 911.
Yeah. No, I don't, like, once again, I truly believe, or I truly know that people don't realize how fragile our system is, and it does suck. It does suck because it could be down, as you know, could be down for quite a while, which would just wreak utter havoc. The longer it's down, the worse things get.
In the ideal situation, you'd have two public safety answering points, right?
Yes, and actually we do have backup systems. We you know, a lot of agencies work together where we could actually transfer our server to another department server, and then we just head on over there and we start, you know, doing our dispatch from there. But there's a lot Thankfully, there's a lot of fail safes, but it's still amazing. Still amazing to see how fragile it is.
Yeah, and since I'm in the network operations center, I get to see firsthand how fragile it is.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Plenty of alarms, and that cool. Plenty of red, plenty of orange, and plenty of yellow, pretty much. That's what I get to see.
I bet.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna let the next one come in.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go through some chats here. Let's see here. Loved how Chris skipped the question. Why does he hate cats? We're not gonna answer that question today. I'm gonna let you guys wonder. Let's see. It was a matter of time, but she was still involving herself with everyone up until the end. Let's see here. Chris, have you ever had a person say you know the law but actually doesn't? Oh my God, we get sidewalk lawyer. We call those sidewalk lawyers when people think they know the law and they don't know crap about the law. So yes, we get those all the time. Let's see. And the thing is that you got King Charles now. That's our Joe Biden. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Even worse, you got Trudeau. Oh my gosh, here we go. Now we're gonna get some English politics. Better than American politics. SWAT 4 is for old people. Oh, Only Cops is in the house. Let's see here. No, I'm going to send all my people to your channel, Only Cops, so they can actually petition you guys to play SWAT 4. Let's see. There you are. Ginger Ninja is putting you on blast. Will we ever see Krista Cop in a Kubi play? I don't know. Maybe. Never know what the future brings. All right, let's see here. Let's go to a written question from Nina. What does 603 unlawful entry actually refer to? I've heard it before. The only reason is a police code. However, Google gave me confusing and somewhat contradicting results. Is it trespassing or getting too close to someone to an ongoing arrest? Seems like those lines to me also. Will officers use codes or sometimes speak in English? The guys look suspicious rather than got a 10107 here. Okay, Nina. Codes are not universal in law enforcement. And who uses codes and who doesn't uses codes, there is no rhyme or reason. There is a 10 code system, but even the 10 code system changes from agency to agency. I'm going to say you're probably referring to a 602 of the Penal Code, and that would be the actual California Penal Code. A 602 in the state of California is trespassing. So that's simply it. It's a misdemeanor. It's trespassing. But as far as like all of the other codes, they just differ from state to state. Actually, they differ from region to region. Penal codes differ from region to region. So there are common ones, like, 187 is considered murder. So I think 187 is a very popular code. 211, robbery, a very popular code. But there's a lot of other codes that are utilized that are not the same from city to city. So there you go on that. All right, let's go to a audio question, Fox.
All right, we got Brady Kilman.
All right, Brady, what's up? What's up, Brady?
Hey. What is the youngest and the oldest person you have arrested and what are their circumstances? Or why were they arrested?
Well, first of all, in the state of California, we are not allowed to arrest anyone under the age of 12 because the state has said that no one under the age of 12 is capable of committing a crime due to the fact of their development stage. And as far as old, me personally, I think I arrested someone at the age of 72 for DUI.
Dirty grandpa, I guess.
So, happens. Happens.
Yeah, I think the youngest we can be arrested here in Kansas is 10.
Yeah, and it differs from state to state. Every state has their own definitions of who commits crimes.
That was my question.
Okay, thanks, Brady. Have a good one. All right. All right, let's see here. Alfredo thinks I got mauled by a cat. So let's see. Commander Sweeper says I'm in the end of the 30s, so I guess this qualifies me as old for liking SWAT 4 then. Octane Gamer says, get the guy who said SWAT 4 is for old people. SWAT 4 is the best, especially with Back to Los Angeles mod. What does 10.1 mean? 10.1 means you're copying not clearly for us. What do you prefer to get, Taser or Pepper? I prefer neither. Both are painful. Here, Kansas City is burglary. Cool. GBN Rico says, you're the coolest and funniest cop ever. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I do have to say, if I had a choice, I probably would get tased because it's over, as opposed to pepper spray continues to burn even hours later. So, Broly Branderer says, have you or any cop ever been upset about police portrayal in video games such as GTA? No, not really. I'm not going to get upset about how we're portrayed in a video game, a TV show, or Hollywood. I mean, it's annoying, but it's all because basically game developers, people in Hollywood don't take the time to really learn what we really do in law enforcement, and all they do is perpetuate the fake persona of what we do in law enforcement. And of course, though, too, if they were to make a true show about what we do in policing, it would be a boring show. It really would be. Don't get me wrong. The stories, there's tons of great stories that you can make a great drama from. But in regards to... it's so great. I'm sure Only Cops is going to have a good one with that photo right there. It's great that... they're not going to do that. So that's why they do what they do. But I'm not going to get upset about that. That's not going to be what I'm going to do. All right, Fox. Oh, no, we got one more. We have actually one more written, and then it's going to be all super chat, or it's going to be all chats and live. All right. So, Doug, how do you feel about the media, especially photographers covering incidents involving tactical operations? Okay, we'll answer that first question. The media doesn't bother me. The media has never bothered me. As a matter of fact, I am very media friendly. When the media calls, I tell them about incidents that happen. I give them all the information I'm able to give, and I will generally, on large operations, I will set up an area for the media to be, because that way they know where they're going to be, and then they stay out of my way. If you work with the media will work with you. It's very rare that we will get someone in the media that will say, like, they'll try to get somewhere else. Now, don't get me wrong. They're trying to get the shot. I agree. They want to get the better shot. They're a business just like anybody else. But I work very well with the media. I do a lot of interviews. There's a lot of written media that my name's on there. So you can actually find me in those media events. So that's the first question. Let's see here. I have been a public safety photographer employed by the fire department for that purpose, and have a great relationship with local police and photography in such scenes like serious crashes. That's cool. That is actually a pretty cool job. That's awesome. But tactical was always closed off. Yeah, because there's this belief that if we show what we do, it'll give bad guys an idea of how to circumvent our tactics. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, we have cops that have gone rogue, that are, they're no longer cops, that are, become criminals. We have people who went to the military to learn tactics, and they come back and teach bad people those tactics. So there's no real secrets. I mean, there really is no secrets today, especially with the internet. You could look up all training videos on room entries and da-da-da-da-da. So we got to keep everything secret. It just doesn't work anymore. With the advent of the internet, it is all gone. All we could do is just be better at what we do. But we're not surprising anybody, ladies and gentlemen. So this whole, we can't, show this. Nah, it doesn't work. Let's see here. But also did shoot for breaching company nearby involving a nearby jurisdiction who were very open and had very few restrictions on the shoot. So there you go. I'm for it, Doug. I'm for it. And here it is we're a public entity. We're here for our communities, and I have no problem with people showing other people what we do. I mean, it just makes us more human too. That's the other part. It takes away the veil of secrecy when people actually see what we do, and I think it's really good for community relations. So I definitely like that. So cool. I got to do something real quick with Fox, I think, right here. No, that's not it. Okay, there we are. Ooh, there's a lot of people here. Okay, Fox, let's go with a audio question.
I have one more text question in your DMs right after this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we got Officer Garrett.
Officer,
What's up, guys?
hey, how's it going, Officer Garrett?
I'm back. Hey, I'm also. I wanted to apologize and sorry about your dog. I'm sorry about Shadow. I miss him very dearly.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I miss him a lot too.
I remember watching. I was watching one of your old videos when he was. Remember?
Yep. Yeah, he was definitely a loud one.
What's the code for Officer Down?
We don't actually have a code. We just say officer down, to be honest with you. Gosh, that's a good question. I don't think we have a code. We just say officer down. Yeah, I've never even. Yeah, I'm sure an agency has a code, but my agency at that point in time, we're just going to use what we call clear text. We're just going to talk in, plain English to let people know what's going on.
Like you said earlier about the police channel thing, you said that's like the new Red Dead Redemption cop mod. It goes sheriff, like that. That's what they do now.
Oh, as far as what? I missed that first part, Garrett.
The sheriff, like you said about the channel went down. Your radio went down.
I'm missing, because you're saying that they're saying sheriff.
Never mind.
No. I'm trying to. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying.
that off. I said the officer, if the radio went down, like you said.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. The sheriff, they would be going sheriff.
No. I now understand what you're saying. No.
Like,
If 911 went down, all we would really do is just drive down the streets, and that's what a lot of agencies do. They just get all the officers in their cars, just driving down the streets. We're not going to get on the PAs or anything like that, but we're just going to drive down the streets, and if someone has to flag us down, that's it. But no, we're not going to get on the PA announcing that we're driving down the street. No, we're just going to chill and drive down the streets. Not to say someone may do that, but we wouldn't do that. And I don't think anybody locally around us would do that as well.
I have two more questions, but I wanted to know more about being not only a cop, he's a paramedic too. Chris is.
Yes.
I saw that video and I think I'm gonna support you 100%.
I appreciate that.
Chris, I had a question. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry one time. I'm the one that called you. I didn't know you were streaming one day, and I called you. I didn't know.
It's okay. It's really, really difficult for me to accept any calls via Discord. It's just because of where I'm at and that type of stuff. So I generally can't. It's just if I did, I would be overwhelmed. I mean, there's 68,000 people. Could you imagine? I would be so overwhelmed. I would love to. It's just so overwhelming. But I try to jump in Discord, Fox does a great job. I mean, we're able to talk one-on-one here, and that's all because of Fox. And Fox is working on doing other things and other co-ops where people get to interact with me more live, and I definitely want to do that. That's definitely one of the things I love doing. So just stay tuned because we're definitely working on more and more of that.
Yeah, can I give an idea real quick? I want to do like a reaction. We could do live reaction with guests.
Yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool. It just all depends on the type of reactions because as of right now, I'm not doing any type of body cam reactions. I'm kind of staying clear of that for a while, and but that can change. There's always a strong possibility of that changing.
I wanted you to react to the officer down from YPD. Body camera, the first episode.
Well, if it's television and movie stuff, the problem with doing breakdowns is YouTube gives us a copyright strike, and then we have to fight for the strike to be removed, and that's why there's not a lot of reaction videos on actual television shows and stuff like that because I have done a lot. and or not done a lot. I've done a few, and I got a copyright strike, so I just brought the video down because I didn't even want to deal with it. But when they're body cam stuff, yeah. But right now, I'm staying away from body cam stuff. I'm deferring to only cops on that. Only cops are able to say many things that I would love to say. So yeah, for actual real life body cam stuff, I would tell you to definitely give only cops a follow because they're doing what I would love to do.
And speaking, give me out, I dare you. I just hang on a minute, my cat. I have one of those for real friends. Every time I put it down on the ground, it meows by itself.
Okay.
Ghost.
Wow.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Do I? Yes, absolutely.
I would like to go hunting with you. Come to Texas.
Well, if I do, maybe we will. You can show me a couple of haunted spots. But yes, I do believe in ghosts.
Speaking of, are you going to do a live show, or like you come on tour? That would be cool.
You know what, Garrett? There's a lot of possibilities for the future. I've met a lot of great people over this last year. And there's a lot of cool stuff that we're all planning, and so there are a lot of strong possibilities of various different things happening. So, like I said, just keep watching. There's a lot of cool announcements coming, that type of stuff. So, there is a lot of possibility of things happening. So, just FYI.
Last time you didn't do this, I was upset because I wanted to.
Do
this.
Well, what we're doing is we're this live chat, this format. We're doing every other coffee with the cop. So we're only going to do this once a month for now. That's all we're going to do. It can grow. It can grow as time goes on. This was an experiment, but it was a very successful experiment. And Fox and I have talked about doing more of this, but right now we're going to reserve it to once a month because we're also going to, we still want to include our buddies of Only Cops. And it's a little bit difficult to do this with multiple people in chat, but we may figure it out. Once again, remember, we're figuring out all of this technology as we go. But yeah, so it can change. So it definitely could change. But right now it's once a month. Okay.
Okay with that. Hey, Fox, are you there?
I don't think.
Yeah. Fox, I want to work for y'all guys. I want to be a moderator for y'all. His channel, just to help.
Well, Garrett, do me a favor. Send Fox a DM later on, and you guys could chat offline, okay?
Okay, but I send you a friend request too.
Okay, all right. Well, send Fox one, because Fox is the one handling all this stuff, okay?
I did, and
Okay, well, be patient. He's busy.
Yeah, work hard. I want you to work hard. And
yeah.
are you working today?
What's that?
Are you working today?
Yes, I'll be going to work in about. I'll be getting ready. I'll be ending chat within the next hour because I have to get ready for work because I have to leave my house at 1 p.m.
Good luck with it, Benny. I just want to say, good luck with it. Be careful. Don't get shot. I don't want to lose you.
Trust me, I don't want to lose me either, and I do appreciate that.
You're a brother to me. We all already watched video of Officers Downs.
Yeah.
I want to see the video, Fox. I want you to look at it and see what Chris think of it. And Brady, I see you. What, Brady? Just come send me a message for each one.
Okay.
No,
all right, I'm going to actually go to chat now because I'm getting behind on chat, and we're going to get a couple questions here in chat. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? All right. Okay, we lost there's that question. Okay, or I should have asked when you guys trained, you guys had to do like a 10K run. No, so here's the thing, Fractured, is SWAT tactics are not everyone needs. I mean, everyone should have a little bit of cardio, but we want people to have different levels of training, different physical physiques, because a breacher has to be a big dude, or not always, but a breacher has to have some type of strength. So a breacher is not going to be always that guy who runs all the time. So we're not all runners, we're not all weightlifters. Everyone is a little bit different, and that's what makes a team work so well. So there you go. Okay, let's see. Some dude, do you think that the United States would ever issue SWAT and police with armored personal carriers for dealing with very armed suspects? Armored personal carriers. I don't know if that referring to vehicles or vests, but we already have rifle ready vest that everyone has. So yeah. John says Chips was a good show growing up. I totally agree with you. I love Chips. Let's see. Memcrest says, have I ever watched a show, Chicago PD? Yes, I don't like it. Let's see here. Don't want to lose anybody. Fox FO says, and we also have cops that became YouTubers and share their cop stories with people. Yes, we do. Do police use Suburban or Tahoes? Yes, they do. We still got cops that go rogue. I don't want to skip this real quick. I just saw Trevor. I just got to your super chat. Thanks you again. I'm trying to not skip anyone here. Oh yeah, okay. So Alfredo says I got to watch the first episode of Southland. Yeah, it's great, man. Alfredo, you're gonna enjoy that show. I wish it was still on. Yes, Fox. Well, Fox, I finally saw Let's Get to 70, and we're at 75. So let's go for 100. Why do police officers use metal handcuffs instead of zip ties? Well, on patrol, you want to have metal handcuffs because you don't want your suspects to get away. Not that they would get away with zip ties, but it is just a tool that we use in patrol. Thanks, Trevor. Cool thing about the internet, from my perspective, and TPX, I get to see the underlying backbone of the internet. You do, Trevor. You definitely do. Let's see. Chris, recently there was a child charged with DWI in my area. Well, it does happen. $11.99 off. You're right, Alfredo. $11.99. I'm gonna check my department code book. I'm sorry. I gotta chill. I don't know if we use that, but I think $11.99 or $10.99 is the almost a universal code. I'm gonna get back to you guys on that one. Yeah, that you got me thinking about that. What happens if a cop beats up someone? Well, it all depends if they were fighting with the officer. So we are able to use force to effective arrest to stop someone from hurting us or to stop someone from hurting others. So just all depends on the situation. Let's get to 80. Yes. Good luck, Kat. All right. Get Chris. All right. Cool. Hey, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:40. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute bio, so I will be right back. Taking a bio. Be right back. I think we have a bio, huh? All right, cool. There we are. I'm back. All right, let's get Fox. You said there was another. You sent to me a DM.
Yeah, there's just 2 more questions in DMs.
All right, let me take a look here. You sent them to me though, right?
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Okay, here's that one question. All right, we're gonna. Fox sent a couple questions. When you were a younger cop, did you ever have a foot chase that you caught the suspect? I think I've answered that one already. But yes, I've actually have many times done that. So yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Fox says there's another one, so let's just get the other one out of the way. This is from Shoddy. Do you think that SWAT or counterterrorism units will be issued with military-grade APCs or IFA for heavy armed and dangerous suspects? Okay, so here's the thing. No, not. Because we actually have better vehicles than the military. It's called the Bearcat, the Lenko Bearcat. It is a freaking awesome piece of armor. It was made for civilian law enforcement, and we don't need the military stuff. We have our own stuff. We are getting better at, vendors are getting better at making stuff specifically for law enforcement. So our Lenko Bearcat can handle 50 caliber rounds getting shot into the glass, into the actual metal, blah, 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 blah. So nope, we don't need their junk. As a matter of fact, the military is starting to buy their stuff. Let's see. Okay, so let's say Minecraft says, so they mean they beat him up for no reason. Well, first of all, if they beat someone up for no reason, they need to lose their job and go to jail. But I don't know too many cops. I don't know of any cops that do that. So there are bad cops. But once again, if anyone is breaking the law, I don't care who you are, you go to jail. Let's see here. John said it's been a long time since he was tested on all those codes. It has been a long time. Minecraft, cleaner, take out the garbage. Bye. It'd be okay. See you later. Don't buy Chris now, Fox. We want him back. La da 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 la da da. All right, let's go with the live question, Fox. Oh, Poofy's back. Oh my gosh.
Goofy says to let Grime go first. So Grime, Grim.
I actually have this interesting question though. Has there ever been a time where you were the victim of a crime instead of being the police officer?
Well, a police officer can actually be a victim of a crime while on duty. And then when we're attacked, we become the victim. And the suspect is charged with the felony. So, yes, the answer is yes.
So, here's actually a little fun fact. It's actually illegal to swear in public if you disturb the peace in Louisiana, though.
Well, about every state has disturbance of the peace code. So, yes, there are actually codes that don't, people think they have a First Amendment right for everything, but there's actually a code that says you are not allowed to say offensive remarks to someone that's likely to cause a physical or provoke a physical response, which is a misdemeanor. So, yes, there's a lot of different codes that people don't realize that are out there.
All right, so I think I'm going to go now.
Okay, bye.
All right, we got Fractured RNA.
What's up, Fractured?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to leave the Discord because I forgot that you could actually put me back on the audience, the nosebleeds. I was just curious because I wanted to ask that question actually. I've been dying to ask because since you're only going to be doing this once per month, like you just said, I think everyone was asking about one of your favorite donuts or like your donut places to go like that. I mean, for me, we used to have like a Dunkin' Donuts back then. When I was younger in Montreal. But I think that it's closed right now, so we have Tim's. But like I think we're all just curious about your favorite donuts.
So my favorite donut doesn't come from a name brand donut company. It will actually be a maple bar from the independent Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Will be from the independent donut operators. So they come in a little pink box, but it's a maple bar. Maple bar is by far my favorite.
I like the Boston cream, but I guess everyone's their preference.
That's why they have so many donuts.
I do like the gooey stuff inside, which I get a bit guilty of eating it, especially when I have to work out daily. Oh yes, this revolves right now for back to the your SWAT. So basically, when you mentioned about when you answered my question about the training thing like that, so I'm just curious. Prior to becoming SWAT, I know yes you have to be like patrol officer by default, but like, do you have to undergo like really hard testing, for example? Like, for example, you have to do like a written exam, and then comes the practical. Then comes, for example, you know, whether ready or not, there's like this shooting range like that, and
Right.
they evaluate you for almost every single
Yeah. So
test.
yeah. So the short answer to be going on to SWAT is, number one, you have to be experienced. We're not going to just take anybody. And then you are tested. So you'll turn in your basically your memo that you're interested in SWAT, and you will go through a physical agility test, a shooting test, and then last a interview with a panel, and then you're placed on a list. And then depending on your record and all that type of stuff will depend on if you get onto SWAT or not.
Oh, nice. So kind of like any school that would do. Perfect.
Yeah.
And also, okay, I'm pretty sure it's getting close, like you just said, to 1 o'clock. So I don't want to take Brady's time too much. I'm just wondering, like during when you do SWAT operations, do you with your with your coworkers and all like that, when you're about to get ready to do, for example, like a raid or something like that, do you occasionally tend to do some sort of banter inside your vehicles, like that, kind of like
Oh my gosh.
just to kill the mood, like that's before you actually go into an operation like that with all the stress and stuff like that?
We usually are messing around from right when we enter the locker room till the time that we jump in the vehicles, and then sometimes in the vehicles it could be sometimes solemn, especially if it's something that we know is going to be very dangerous. I mean, they're all dangerous, don't get me wrong, but yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of joking around. But once the boots hit the ground, it's all seriousness at that point in time. So yeah, we do try to keep a little bit of humor because you have to. But yeah, the banter it's professional banter. It's nothing. It's never done out of any type of maliciousness. It's just done so we can all feel, we like. You made a good point. It takes some of the stress off of us.
Oh, perfect. That's good. Everyone needs to, like, get some sort of stress off.
Yeah.
And just one last question. Sorry, I'm so sorry, Brady. I don't mean to take much of your time. I'm curious about, for example, I know in your gameology videos where you mentioned about entry teams and perimeter teams like that. I'm just wondering the amount of people that you put, for example, for each of those teams, or albeit sniper teams, helicopter members, for example. Does it depend on each, like, operation, each setting, like each location, like that, how it's
Yes.
built the building, like you would, like, for example, read blueprints, like intel, stuff like that?
Yeah, every situation is no, don't. First of all, a team is a team. When SWAT is activated, the entire team will be activated. Now, depending on what the mission is, will depend on where those people are deployed. It'll also depend on the resources that we'll utilize outside of SWAT, because sometimes we have to utilize patrol services to help us with perimeter, so forth. But once again, it just all depends on the actual situation. But whenever a SWAT is activated, the full members are coming. So it's the entire team, the snipers, crisis negotiations, all of them are all responding to the situation, and then we go from there.
Perfect. That's really interesting to know. Thank you so much, Chris. And I'll let Brady have the fun to talk to you.
No worries.
When you get a chance, of course. Thank you again. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, Fractured. So we got a super chat from Lily Snum, and we're going to answer that super chat. It says, "Hey, Chris, I've actually been wanting to ask this to a professional. How long do you think it takes to become a police detective, and what would you suggest in order to become one?" So becoming a police detective will go from it changes from region to region, or actually from department to department. I know people that have become a detective after 2 years of being a police officer. I know it took people 5 years. There are people it took 10 years. I did not become a police detective until like year 4 or 5. So it just really all depends. Now, as far as suggestions, there are classes that you can take to help with investigations, kind of get you to think a little bit differently. There are various different things that you can do, but a police officer really learns how to be a detective when they're a patrol street cop and they investigate their crimes and they start looking for more evidence. They start analyzing people, talking to them, all that type of stuff. So I always tell people, be a good street cop. Learn your profession. Master your profession. And then when you do that, then move to the next step. That will truly help you to be a better detective. But it could be as simply as 2 years, because maybe your department needs a detective and you work for a small department. So that's definitely a possibility. So before I jump into the audio chat, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that there are people answering questions or asking questions via audio in Discord. So you definitely want to, like I said, set up your Discord so you can partake in that, and instead of asking your questions here in chat. But I still do appreciate those questions. Also, don't forget that if you're still here, please hit that like button. It would be cool to get 100 likes before we get out of here. I think we're at 85. We've had the most viewers today in any stream, so that we broke another record. So that was pretty freaking cool, and I'm excited about that. So all right, let's get with Fox and get our next person.
I got another text response for you in your DMs.
Cool. We'll get that one after this audio.
All right. Final 2 audios for Killman and then Poofy.
All right. What's up, Brady?
What is the wildest, most craziest pursuit and or foot chase you have been in?
Well, the one that always comes to mind for me is we had a jewelry robbery where a smash and grab. The suspects rolled in, smashed all of the display cases, took all the jewelry, and they took off. And they turned the wrong direction, and one of our patrol officers picked them up. And we were already jumping in our cars to respond to the robbery in progress when the officer found the vehicle fleeing the scene. And it subsequently ended up being one of the best pursuits. My sergeant, actually my corporal, because I was a sergeant at the time, my corporal jumped in the vehicle with me. And we were flying over 100 miles an hour. We eventually got onto the freeway. Suspects were throwing all the jewelry out of the windows onto the freeway. They eventually exited and went to a mall, an indoor mall. And what was neat was once they entered the mall, they thought they were going to actually get away. And the mall is able to shut down. That police jurisdiction has already worked with the mall people, and they were able to shut down every exit that allowed us to catch the suspects, and we caught everybody. So it was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but it was awesome.
I would love to be in the front seat of that.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Got the old shit bar, like, what?
Yeah, I was actually driving, and I was at least doing 110 flying down the freeway.
Oh.
It was awesome.
Oh, I'd be like a little kid in a candy shop.
Exactly. That's why I love being a cop.
Be safe tonight.
Oh, thank you, Brady. I really appreciate that. All right, so Fox
Hopefully
said,
slow and quiet.
So do I. It would be nice, but it probably won't be. All right, Fox says we have a.
I have to say it.
No, I appreciate that. Trust me, I appreciate that. Okay, let's see here. Fox sent me a DM. It says, X-Ray says he may not answer this online, but what's his opinion on citizens exercising their Second Amendment rights, and what oversight does he feel local and state law enforcement should have on the process? I have no problem with open carry. I have no problem with CCWs. I think that you, as a law-abiding citizen, should be able to arm yourself and protect yourself, because there just aren't enough police officers to do that. And if bad people know that the good people are carrying guns, it may stop them from trying to hurt someone, because in reality, the last thing I ever want to see is someone being hurt. So if that means protecting yourself, I'm all for it. So I think all law-abiding citizens should be allowed to do open carry or CCW. I got no problem with that. So, all right, Fox, you want to give us an? Oh, you know what? Let's see what's in chat. Yeah, thanks again, Lyle. I really do appreciate that. Let's see here. Dan, I missed the clip where Chris makes funny face. Fractured says, I think Cole Phelps from Alienware has the world record of fastest promotion to become a detective. I think so too. Pop quiz: if there was a box of cookies and stuffed donuts in front of you, which one would you go for? Tell me. I'm not a fan of stuffed donuts, so I'd probably have to go with the cookies. Currently watching in the shower. That's a little disturbing. Just kidding. Let's see here. I might have scrolled up a little too far. Don't mind me. I'm just playing some Halo. That's cool. Nice. I've not played Halo for about a year. Okay, here we go. Can firefighters become a SWAT team member? I have some departments allow dedicated fighters to take auxiliary police academy or become a SWAT team medic. Yes, a lot of teams are using fire department paramedics on their team as a team medic, but they're not really an operator. When is the next Coffee with Cops? In 2 weeks. Well, like SpongeBob Fish Cop says, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Absolutely. Ooh, shoot. 5 more likes to 100. Let's do it, go. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. 100 likes or Chris also has to eat OC spray fries. What the hell was that about? No way. I'm not doing that. Hey, Chris, what's going on from Raghalf? Don't do that. I mean, you can't get Chris fired for letting you late to work. 100 likes, then Chris has to eat a filled donut. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. I could do that. All right, let's go with the next audio chat there, or question, Fox. Hello.
Grime. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Grime?
My friend, what's like one really extremely weird law you have? Like, for example, like in Louisiana, though, it's illegal to tie an alligator to a fire hydrant.
In my city, I don't have any that I can recall, but in California, actually every state has a bunch of dumbass crimes. I'm like, prime example, the city of Carmel, it was a crime to eat ice cream on the sidewalk. Like, WTF? So you walk out of the ice cream parlor, you can't eat your ice cream while on the sidewalk. I mean, so if you look at it, and actually I've thought about doing a show of dumb crimes in the United States. So you actually reminded me of that, Grime. So I'm probably going to get with Fox and maybe we'll do a video where we cover 10 dumb laws and talk about them. But yeah, so yeah, there are just so many out there. It's funny. I've heard some dumb ones like you can't tie a camel to something. A camel? Like a camel? Really? Who has a camel? So yeah, there's a bunch of dumb laws out there.
Another question, though, is that has there ever really been a time where someone, or like in the public, though, like while you're on duty, minding your own business, like we're like, hey, are you Chris the Cop? And we're like an actual fan.
Well, here's a funny story. We have a farmer's market every Thursday. And I was walking through the farmer's market with my partner, and somebody walked up to me, and they're like, dude, it's you. And I'm like, what's going on? I thought maybe, see, because I grew up in my city where I work in. So there are people who know me, who went to high school or went to school with me. Sometimes their parents went to school with me, and so they just know of me. Once again, because my family's one of the oldest families in the city. And he's all like, hey, man, I'm a big fan. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He goes, hey, can I take a picture? And my partner's like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, yeah. So we did a picture. We did the peace sign. And he actually put it on his Instagram. I think he tagged me, as a matter of fact. And so, yes, it was actually pretty cool. And then where I go buy my Pokemon cards, this was during COVID. I had my mask on. And the guy's like, it's Chris the Cop. And I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird. This guy recognized me from the eyes on up. And he goes, hey, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, oh, absolutely. Of course you can take a picture with me. So, yes, it actually has happened. And it has happened to me on duty now. And it's kind of cool. It's pretty neat. So yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to meet. It's fun to meet people. I would love one day to, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I would love to one day be big enough that I get invited to like TwitchCon or some of these events where there are other content creators. That would be cool. That would be cool that I would have a following that people would actually want to come see me there. So that would be one of my goals for this channel in the future.
Okay, so this is the last and final question I have. What's like the most BS story you ever got? Like, say someone got like stabbed with a knife and they're like, I think I must have fallen on a bullet or something.
You know, there are so many things that people have lied to me about. I mean, I've even had victims that have been beaten by their husbands say, "Oh no, I fell," or I got attacked in an alleyway. Yeah, there's just so many. Gosh, I'm trying to think of something that was actually funny that I can actually remember. There are funny ones. There are funny ones where someone's like, I didn't do that, and you're just like, come on, dude. They're like, no, it wasn't me, and you're just like, are you freaking serious? So there's always those things that happen like that. I'll have to come up with I'll have to kind of like dig deep down in this and come up with a story. But remind me next time we put this together. I'll see if I came up with something for you. And bye. Gimme just takes off. Let's see here. Let's look what's going on in super chats. Oh my gosh, we hit 100. Okay, I might have to go buy a donut and eat it today. That's filled. This is gonna suck. All right. Do any of the crimes get enforced, or what happens if it's taken to court? Do any of those crimes? Yes, they sometimes go to court. A lot of times not. They're just fined. All right. See, John says, "Hey Chris, my first 2 California vacation to visit family and base up in Los Angeles or around the area back in the early '90s. A riot happened when I was a teenager, and I got shot. Well, that was the Rodney King riots of the 1990s. I remember that. I was a paramedic during that time. I actually found a list online of 10 for Quebec. I hope SP is too strict on those. No swearing in French. Yeah, there's dumb ones. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, see, people are putting all the stupid ones, the laws out there. Yeah, though these are not my pants. Alfredo, that is a good one. I forgot about that. You find narcotics in someone's pants, like, these aren't my pants. But you're wearing them. Yes, that is the good one. Is it considered cop impersonation if you're using recordings of real cops to prank call? Yes. Canada has a law about scaring the Queen. Well, now I guess it had. Very true. I'm just sure it's going to switch it to the King. Hey, was the heat wave this week, Chris? Now it's raining. Yes, it is raining. It sucks. Let's see, Chris, what year did you start as a cop in the 90s specifically? I think you mentioned it. 97 was when I started as a cop. All right, do we have any more voice there, Fox?
Fractured RNA?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so aside from the weird laws that I just posted, I'm just kind of curious too to ask, did you actually had any joint operations, I'm curious, with Canadian police, like the RCMP before? I mean, this probably could have been, I don't know why I decided to ask that, but in general, did you have like kind of like joint operations with Canadian police?
No, actually not. I've never worked with any other country teams at all.
Okay, so I'm assuming because it's way too far for you to reach over there. I'm assuming, or is
no,
sorry.
No, because if there's operations that are going to involve another country, you're talking about the State Department needs to get involved and stuff like that. So those things are at the federal level. Now, I will say my team actually was responsible for the security of the Taiwanese president, which, if you think about current events going on right now, he came to my city and the State Department was with him. However, if this makes any sense, the State Department was there, but they weren't there. It's because this is all about politics in the United States. But my team was responsible for security of the Taiwanese president, which, like I said, in today's events, I'm like, wow, how significant that was. I didn't realize all of the politics regarding Taiwan and China. So it was kind of neat to actually go back in time and think in my mind, wow, my team protected the president of Taiwan. So kind of cool.
Must have been a real honor to do, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's freaking awesome.
Definitely, yeah. It's how do you say it? It's really heartwarming, kind of this sort of feeling, like heartwarming. Sorry, feeling of doing that. I'm just curious. This is kind of like a question of the less lethal equipment that you guys had used, like that. What was the worst moment in training where you had to which one would you rather have, actually, sorry, be stunned by a flash grenade, a stinger grenade, the OC spray, or the taser? I think that's all the one they listed, at least for ready or not. I mean, not that like you want to be enjoying any of these, like, but which one did you find was the worst, and which one would you prefer to have over
the worst? The worst is being gassed. The worst is being gassed because it's the gift that keeps on giving. Even hours later, you're still burning. Your skin burns even the next day when you jump in the shower. So that was definitely the worst. The easiest was tasing. While it hurt, when the electricity was stopped, it was over. I mean, it was over that quick. It was like, at first you're like, argh! And then it's done, and you're like, okay, you're back to normal. You're back to normal in a split second. So that is the easiest. It sucks while you're taking the ride, but it's over, and that's what I can appreciate.
And I'm also curious, like in your department, like that. I'm just this is actually curiosity in terms of ammunition, like that. But what do you normally use in terms of ammunition? I know, like in the rifles, like they're 5.56, the general caliber. But do you use like APs or do you use hollow points?
In my handgun, I use hollow points, and in my rifle, I use full metal jacket. Not armor piercing, but full metal jacket.
Is there like much of a because I've at least from what I researched that the hollow points are not as best for best compared for full metal jacket in terms of penetration, but
True.
do they still do this? Do they still do the same amount of damage, for example, for unarmored armor? Because I know in the game like that they mention the details like that it's less effective if you use a full metal jacket round on unarmored targets versus armored. Like, do you think personally it makes much of a difference? Really,
it does. I carry hollow point in my prime example. I carry hollow point in my handgun because there is a better chance of me being involved in the shooting indoors, in my personal opinion. And when that round hits somebody, it that flattens out and causes damage. But if it hits a wall, the chances of it going through a wall are not good. So the backdrop plays a vital role there. In the full metal jacket, you got a round that's going to go through someone and possibly can exit them and keep going. So that's why I reserve that for the rifle round. I know it probably doesn't make sense to some, but there are some differences. Now I have officers that they have ball rounds in their handguns because that's what they choose to want to carry. So it's just really all a matter of preference. I've done both. And then sometimes it just it revolves around what your department buys you. The ammo's free, so you're going to carry what they want you to carry. So it's sometimes just as simply as that. What armor, what bullet is your department buying you? Sometimes it's really that basic.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think mostly, at least for my police department where I live in Montreal, like they just use 9x19 Parabellum, unless we have our tactical team, which I actually did witness at least from afar. Like that, there was a tactical team that was actually deployed within my neighborhood, but yeah, like you just said, yeah, the department orientated wise, just curious. Also, another question. Now that you mentioned about the penetration of ammunition like that, I just realized that when you do the operations like that, have you ever had any of your team member operators like that in your team like that where they took a chance, for example, to fire through a wall or a closed door like that, or the decision making of doing it, for example? Did you ever do you think it's like a bad idea in general, or it all depends on like what what you think that that's beyond that obscured, for example, blind spot like that? Then should you do it?
No. Well, once again, there are situations where we call it the what if factor. We can actually what if stuff. Now, generally, remember, every round we shoot, the officer is responsible for. So we want to know what's on the other side of a wall. We want to know what's on the other side of a door. Has it happened before? I'm sure it has. I had a friend close to 30 years ago that fired through a closet because someone was shooting at him through the closet and he got hit, and they had to shoot through a closet door, which neutralized the suspect, but you're taking a chance of if there's someone in there. But they were in a battle for their life and they almost got killed. But this was, like I said, 30 plus years ago. In SWAT operations, unless we got something going on where we got to back out fast and that type of stuff, but no, we generally will not just shoot through walls and doors because we don't know what's on the other side, and we are responsible. Our job is dangerous, and we don't get to say, well, we wanted to get out of there and it was dangerous. No, we have put ourselves in those situations, so we got to know. We can't just, because if we take an innocent person's life, that's going to just have not just the legal ramifications, but it's going to have the ramifications on the actual officer. They have to live with the fact that they knew that they killed someone who was innocent. And everybody that I've ever worked with, I know would have a tough time dealing with that. It might end their career because They just can't deal with it. It would send them in a depression, like I was talking about earlier. So, no, I don't think it's a good idea. But could it be there? Could there be that situation that it has to happen? Absolutely. And that's the problem with law enforcement is that, remember, we're reacting to the suspect's actions. We're not reacting to our actions. We are reactive. They're the ones dictating what we're going to do next.
Oh, that's perfect. That's really, really thoughtful to consider. Yeah, that definitely, especially always thinking. It's basically like you just said, always thinking one step ahead, like that before you attempt to do something that's drastic. Hope I'm not taking too much of the time.
Well, I definitely want to get to Poofy because I think we have time for just about one or two more questions, and
perfect. Then sorry. So just one last question. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, like your general team setup, like that. Like how many, like for example, how many grenadiers do you have? Like you just said, like that. Do you usually run with? I don't know if that's classified to ask you.
Yeah.
But how do you usually run like that in terms of SWAT entry team members like that? Is there like one team leader? Like because I remember when playing SWAT 4, like there's like those sub teams, then you have that one team leader like that. So how does it work? So how do you guys communicate in sync? Which actually I'm curious to know.
Well, the short answer to that is that most teams will have a SWAT commander. Then and then actually in the actual operations themselves is the team leader and the assistant team leader. Now, most teams, you don't start off right as an operator. You'll start off in some fashion, maybe the gas guy, that type of stuff. So the good part of that, most operators, by the time they get to be that entry guy, has gone through a bunch of different phases. So which means that if we're missing someone else can take over their job. That's the awesome part about that. But everyone's kind of been trained to do everyone's job. There are people who have specific jobs. I mean, we have guys who are breachers, we have grenadiers, we have snipers and stuff like that. But beyond the breacher and snipers, everyone is pretty much well versed in someone else's job. So if we do need to deploy a flashbang, if you're carrying one, you can deploy it. I've mentioned this many times. Not everyone carries a flashbang. Not everyone carries a taser. It all just really mission dependent as well as operator dependent. But the team, and it all depends on the size of teams. There are some teams that only have 8 operators. There are teams that have 18 operators. And you start going to LAPD that has, they have, multiple teams of multiple officers, and as well as with the LA County Sheriff's Department. So it just all depends on the actual team and the team makeup, but that's generally about the hierarchy of how a team operates.
Cool. And I am so sorry for everyone that's listening. Just one quick question that for the Ready or Not game like that. Do you think that the devs should actually add sniper team members? Like they're not actually inside, but like they're on a rooftop and actually coordinating with the actual entry team like that. They're just like, for example, maybe 1 or 2 operators or maybe 4 actually like that, but they're on the rooftop. They're actually scoping down on the building, for example. Do you think they should add that?
Yeah, actually, it would be a nice added part because SWAT 4 does a good job at it. So I would like to see that in Ready or Not as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for your time. Yeah.
All right, Fracture. Hey, everyone that's currently watching right now. First of all, I want to say I do appreciate everyone that has come into this chat and has watched. I think today we broke a record of the amount of concurrent viewers, which is freaking awesome. We have definitely hit over 100 likes, which I was just like blown away that it actually happened. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I just overwhelmed and wow, it's just amazing. We're going to get with Poofy and let Poofy ask his questions, but after Poofy, we're going to be calling it. As you guys know, Coffee with the Cop is that time I have my cup of coffee, which I have finally finished. And I got to get ready for work. So definitely want to do that. So let's get with Poofy. Poofy.
Who's back?
You never know what's gonna happen with Poofy, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on. Why you like this? Okay. Yeah. So quick question.
Yeah.
I know that your rank right now is you are a lieutenant and you have quite a lot of experience. So I was wondering about this. So let's say hypothetically you decide to switch over to SWAT theory's department, or maybe Josh and Bill's department, for example.
Right.
Would your experience, like, would you have to start all the way from the bottom, even with your experience, or would they like give you maybe like, I don't know, higher rank, higher position, or like does your experience really matter?
So good question, and it actually this happens quite a bit. We call that lateraling. It's you're lateraling to another department. You could lateral and have to do entry level. You have to actually look at what you're doing. So if I wanted to go work for another agency, I'd have to actually see if I want to do that. Now, pardon me. There are agencies that are looking for lieutenants. There are agencies that are looking for captains. There are agencies that are looking for commanders. So based upon my experience, I can actually apply for those positions and come in at one of those positions and not have to start all over again. And it's something that happens a lot in California. You have people that leave different departments to go get a promotion at another department because there are no promotions within their department. So you definitely have that. But I do know people that they do go to another agency and they start right from the bottom again. So like in that example, if I went to Texas, yeah, I probably would have to start at the bottom again and work my way up. But I probably would be able to work my way up faster based upon my experience and all my training and stuff like that, because it would be recognized early on.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for the answer. Second question, you grew up with these movies, really. So what's your thoughts on Heat? And I'm not sure if you know the film Seven.
Or both. I know both. Heat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not an Al Pacino fan, and I'm probably like, people are like, what? I'm not an Al Pacino fan, but I like the movie Heat. I love the gun battle because it was done before the North Hollywood bank robbery happened, and then when that robbery happened, a lot of people started renting Heat again, because that was actually during the Blockbuster days when you had to go get your videotape or your DVD. That you couldn't find it. I still remember that. People were like, oh my gosh, that was reminiscent of what just happened. So it had this resurgence. The story's good, but very unrealistic, because during that time, LAPD did not have those weapons. If you think about it, in the North Hollywood bank robbery, LAPD did not have those weapons. SWAT had weapons, but not the actual detectives. That unit doesn't have those. At the very best, they would have had shotguns. Very best. So that bank robbery scene where they're all getting shot, nah, it won't happen. As a matter of fact, SWAT would have been called in, la-da-da-da-da. So on the realism part, storytelling, it's just a good, fun Hollywood movie. Seven's a dark film. It goes with the whole "what's in the box." That's going to always be the forever phrase of it. I like thrillers like that because it kind of shows some of the dark stuff that really happens. I think there are people that believe that this stuff doesn't happen, that this is make-believe Hollywood stuff. And I believe that people would be very surprised to see this evil does exist. So I like that movie. I definitely did appreciate Seven.
Interesting too, because the Batman actually pulled a lot of elements from Seven, like a lot of shots and everything.
Yeah,
were directly influenced by Seven. So yeah, definitely interesting for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, thanks, Poofy. Thanks for the support again, man. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. I'm glad Poofy finished this off. Really good questions. Don't forget, we're going to be doing this again. We're going to do this live. Well, we do Coffee with the Cop every other week. Next week, or in 2 weeks, we'll be with guests. It could be. I'm actually going to try to get Night Cop 35 back on, and Josh and Bill hopefully will be here. At least Josh will be. SWAT 3 might even join us. I would love to get Jet back here. That would be very awesome. But it'll be with multiple cops in 2 weeks. And then a month from today will be this show again. And Fox and I will decide, we'll talk about maybe we should start doing this a little bit more. So you may see twice a month. I can't make any promises right now because my schedule is just super busy. And it's just a really hectic time in my life right now. Good stuff. Don't get me wrong. Good stuff. Good hectic. Not bad hectic. Good hectic. I'm not going to complain. But very, very hectic as I try to manage a lot of things going on in my personal life right now. But I do appreciate all of the opportunities that are in front of me right now, and I'm taking up a lot of them right now. But it does mean a little bit of my content creation will go down a little bit, but don't worry, it'll be good in the long run. It definitely will be good in the long run. But yeah, so let's make sure you guys join us. And I love this format. I definitely love this format. It is freaking awesome. And I love hearing your guys' voices. I love interacting with you. So if you're watching this later on down the line, don't forget that we do this once a month. You're gonna have to join Discord. There's a lot of information in a lot of our videos on how you guys can stay in touch with me offline. I answer DMs on Instagram. You guys can support this channel through channel memberships, which gives you more personal access to me. For those of you who just really like to interact with me, that membership allows you to do that, as we're able to be friends on social media. You're able to DM me directly and all that type of stuff. So it does happen. Don't forget about the merch store. I'm wearing one of my shirts. I'm actually going to be getting more of these. I'm going to either be wearing my merch, or I'm going to be wearing the merch of Only Cops to support them. And as GamerX gets his channel going, don't forget to give him some love, guys. He's putting together some freaking awesome videos of the highlights of SWAT 4. I'm loving the shit that he's doing, or the stuff that he's doing. It is awesome. And so show him some love as well as Night Cop 35, Only Cops, Sternal Jet, SWAT Theory, Whiskey 68. Definitely give them a bunch of love, because we're all trying to just help each other. And here's the thing about it. I think for the first time in a long time on the internet, on social media, you are truly getting the real perspective of different cops. We're talking West Coast, Midwest, East Coast, South, North. You're getting so many different perspectives of law enforcement for the first time on multiple channels, and we're bringing that all together. That is huge. Normally, you're getting one person's perspective, and here's the cool part. I'm going to have to add this all up, but right off the bat, off the top of my head, you guys are probably getting about 60 to 70 years of experience on all of the stuff that we're commenting on, with all of the people that we've all basically come together to support one another. And so you're not just getting some guy who was a cop for 6 years and a guy who was a cop for 4 years. You're getting the perspective. And then you're getting, like, what we do here is not the same what we do over here. So it's awesome. So you guys are getting a lot of cool perspective. So we definitely want to support all of those channels, because we want them to stay active content creators, because it just makes everyone's channel that much better. So make sure you guys show every one of those people love. Night Cop 35 is on Twitch, so you got to head on over there and give him some love as well. So I'm going to call it, ladies and gentlemen. I got to get going. Thank you again for joining. I'm very humbled that you guys take so much time out of your day to join me before I head off into work. I love all of you guys, and let's see what the next couple of months brings, all right? So remember, take care of yourself, take care of one another. We can all make the world a better place, and this is just a prime example of it. We can all make a world a better place by just helping one person with a simple smile or just a nice comment, and I've seen it myself. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris the Cop reminding all of you. Peace. I'm out.
Chris, just 1 minute.
What? Oh, wait. Fox is stopping me.
I mean, no, end the stream.
Oh. Fox is not stopping me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take off. We are ending this.